back to the Survival and Basic Badass Podcast with your hosts, Chuck and Kevin. Alright, Kevin, so today we're going to talk about Faraday cages. I just wanted to do a short episode, maybe midweek here, and see if, we could get to the bottom of this, because it's just kind of something everybody's curious about. People are always asking me, well, how do I really protect my stuff? Now, first of all, a Faraday cage, you want to talk about it? You want to tell us what a Faraday cage is?
A Faraday cage is a grounded metal box. Basically, that's what it is.
Okay.
It's going to block and collect all
signals, disperse?
Yeah, it's going to disperse it around you.
Okay.
So a couple of examples would be like, your cell phone never works in an elevator.
Okay.
Elevator's a Faraday cage.
All right.
Most refrigerators are Faraday cages.
I find when I'm hanging out in my refrigerator, that my cell phone doesn't work if the door's closed. I come out and I'm like, oh, everything's good. Thank God.
I
was always curious about that, so that works out. All right. So yeah, metal box. Now, what else? How else would you describe it? That's pretty much it. Just disperse.
You can use a metal mesh, but apparently the holes in the mesh have to be smaller than the radio wave frequency.
Okay.
So I don't know what kind of size. You know a little bit more about frequency size.
Oh,
is there a specific size that has to be? Because I've heard of people using chain link mesh, but that seems like a pretty large opening.
Yeah, that seems pretty large to me. I don't know. I guess it's going to catch it and disperse it. I do know when we made antennas, you would cut an antenna length to the right frequency.
Oh, yeah?
And your antenna on your car is actually the right height to match up with FM radio signals and
frequencies.
Same thing and AM, you see they have the wire kind of wrapped around antenna, it'll have the wire wrapped around the outside. So different things like that, they're all different, but you know what, I'm not knowledgeable enough to tell you on that one. What I can do is I can tell you an EMP you're worried about, electromagnetic pulse. It comes in, it's going to destroy anything basically with a circuit board.
Okay.
And so that's what you're worried about. Your old school devices, maybe your real old air conditioner, when you turn it, it's just a dial. A lot of the old refrigerators, just a mechanical dial that, the two different types of metal will expand and contract to move the thermostat. And you're pressing those copper contacts together, that turning stuff on. All that stuff's fine with an EMP, no problem. But when you get into transistors, basically transistors is what's getting destroyed.
So a 65 Ford Mustang will still run, but maybe not a Nissan Murano.
Is good. And it's weird because they did a test in 96. And I got to tell you, a lot of cars in 96 would pretty much be, have circuit boards that turn it on and off. Yeah. And they did a test with an EMP. And they blasted all this stuff. And most of the cars kept working, no problem. Now, a lot of them lost features. You lose your radio.
Okay.
Certain things. But a lot of cars kept running. But I also know that's 96, and cars have gotten a lot more technological advanced.
Right.
And there were some cars that stopped working.
Okay.
So, it's hard to really pinpoint, my car's going to be good. It's 96. I don't have to worry about it. I don't think you can really go that way.
Right.
The other thing, now they talk about blasting a nuclear warhead, a couple 100 feet off the ground will affect a certain radius and it goes on. That's basically the big concern. Is now actually Russia has drone submarines that go out and can launch these missiles. So that's kind of disturbing. Also, it's something where somebody could go out off the coast of New York and launch one of these off a barge. It doesn't take a big ICBM or something like that.
Right, doesn't take an actual launch site
you can do it. Again, it depends how high they can get it and whatever, but you can do a lot of damage. And we've all seen with the infrastructure on the East Coast here that it doesn't take much. Once things start going down,
then it's a bit aged.
It tends to add to the collapse.
Yeah.
There's also solar flares. NASA keeps talking about, and I guess in the late 1800s, 1890s, I believe, we had a solar flare that would have taken out
a substantial
all the
impact,
same stuff that an EMP would do, and that affected globally, but it really wasn't a problem. They didn't have a whole lot going on. They didn't have a whole lot going on, so it wasn't an issue. And actually, they predict that kind of thing happens every 150 to 200 years. So now that we talked a little bit about what it is, tell me about what you got here for a Faraday cage.
Well, I was thinking about
what do you think?
Thinking about electronic surveillance. That's a big part of it. You can have people hacking, listening to your room. You can have people, planting a bug and getting the frequency outside.
All right.
You can even have people hack into your computers without being connected online.
All right.
So I mean, it's a good thing to keep in mind if you're very concerned about it. They can be a bit expensive if you're trying to do a whole room, though. You want to be sure that you know what you're doing too. You don't want to blow a whole bunch of money and make it a DIY project and realize you didn't know what you were doing.
Yeah,
you couldn't do it yourself.
And you got to figure it out. And I guess really one way you could tell is, does my cell phone have service? I mean, that's a rudimentary, way of what's going on. If you have great service at your house and you set up your Faraday cage room, you go in there with the cell phone and it's got nothing.
Yeah,
that's a good signal that you're on the right path. Now, what you're saying, it's hard to do a big room, figure it out.
Well, yeah, the Catholic Church actually did it.
Tell me.
A few years ago. They were concerned about people listening into the Papal Conclave when they're talking about electing a new Pope.
Yeah.
And they erected one around the entire Sistine Chapel.
Nice.
That was, 2013 is when they did it.
That's kind of cool. I did not realize this. Now, how would you do something like that around the whole building?
I don't know.
Details?
You're going to have to get an electrical engineer to figure out how to do the Sistine Chapel. That ain't me.
That's a big one, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's this company called Conductive Composites.
Mm-hmm.
And they basically are touting that, we invented a EMP-proof wallpaper. And what they did is they came up with a system where they're mixing a layer of nickel and carbon, and they make this thin film that they say it's flexible like plastic,
and you can just put it up on your walls.
Even sheets of wallpaper that you put in. They even went as far to say they think they're going to be able to put it in paint that you can just paint.
Oh, that'd be pretty interesting. Now, what's the name of the company? If we're looking it up,
Conductive Composites.
Okay.
And I don't think they have anything for sale yet, but they're talking about it's going to be available to the average homeowner and at a low level. Now, you do have to keep in mind, if you're running a hard wire from your device out to another room,
you're defeating the purpose.
You're still screwed.
Yeah.
So if you have, your cable modem plugged right into your computer with your LAN wire or whatever, it's not going to help you. But your Wi-Fi, you're not going to have Wi-Fi, and it's getting out, and then your device is going to be exposed if you're not inside a Faraday cage.
You have to be completely isolated when you're inside of it, or when your items are inside of it. Now, I think a basic way to do this would be to, if you got a metal trash can, set it into the ground.
Okay.
Just so the top's above, and when people come over, have them drop their phones in there.
All right.
Keep it enclosed, and you won't have anybody's phone looking into your conversations.
Looking in. All right.
Not too long ago, actually, you have to be careful about this too, because not too long ago I was having a conversation with two people.
All right.
And I happened to glance down, and I was looking at myself.
Yeah.
And I realized that one of these people had their phone. They had their arms folded, and their phone was pointing at me, and they were recording me having this conversation.
Really?
So I stopped and I said, "Are you recording me right now?" And they seemed confused, and I said, "I'm looking at myself right now on your phone." And apparently it was accidental. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not gonna make a statement about whether it was or was not accidental. But they didn't get anything good.
No. Okay. They're always on guard. When you start talking, people listen. So. that's something they might want to take
right.
back.
Everybody
later.
has a microphone in their pocket now, so
it does seem that way.
You have to be careful.
We talked about the different possibilities.
Right.
So, all right. So security is key. Faraday cage, like I said, putting it in a metal box. A lot of different options. The walk-in cooler. That's a big refrigerator.
Yeah.
We just talked about hopefully this paint.
It has to be grounded. That's the one thing you have to remember. It has to have a good, it has to have a ground to go out.
Because it's got to disperse it somewhere.
Right.
All right. That said, I would say. Oh wait, no, you have more.
No, that's the conversation.
Short and
Now,
sweet.
if we wanted
Yes.
to do a couple of quick examples here.
Yes.
There's a few of them that you can do at home.
Yeah, tell me.
One is that I was interested in was something you call a booster bag.
All right.
Now, a booster bag is you would take a like a reusable shopping bag, like a canvas bag.
All right.
You line it with aluminum foil.
All right.
Then, as you're shopping, you can take high-price items,
Okay.
slip them into the bag, and it won't set off the alarms as you walk out the door.
I like it. Now, why would somebody
not
want to do
encouraging?
something
I'm
like
not
that?
encouraging
No?
shoplifting,
No,
but I mean, hey,
shoplifting would be
you got to
wrong.
cut costs where you can.
Is that how you're saving?
But I
Is
mean,
that
that's
how you were able to save up for the underground bunker?
that's how I buy all my iPods and Kindles.
We recorded this right now.
This is on a machine that was booster bagged.
Oh, that's wrong.
So an elevator. Let's just go through a couple of them.
All right.
Elevator. That's
All
a good one. Cars and planes in a way are, but it really depends on how they're connected and how they're grounded.
Okay.
They make suits now. You can use suits that linemen use when they're working with high-powered electricity. That'll prevent them from being electrocuted.
Right.
An entire suit that you can do it. It doesn't matter what the actual voltage is.
Nice.
Won't be bad. A microwave.
We've
Chuck your
talked
phone
about
in there.
that
Just
the past, yep.
chuck your friend's phones in there. Don't turn it on though, because that won't work out well.
Okay, so you don't mix up the popcorn and all right, no problem.
No. You wanna keep that off. But so that's just a couple of ideas to throw out there, and I encourage you to do some experimenting at home. Try not to microwave your phone while you do it, and that's all I got to say about that.
All right, so nice and short this week. Just wanted to give you guys a little booster episode in the middle of the week, and otherwise, we'd like if you leave us some reviews on the iTunes. iTunes reviews help promote everything, keep us going, and more people know about us, the little easier and better job we can do for you.
Mm-hmm.
That said, we will see you next week. Keep listening.
All right, have a good one, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, that's the end.